How have you been?
I have been great. I have been great. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
I see you doing all your jewelry and everything. I was like, look at her doing her stuff and stuff.
Oh, girl, tell you gotta multiple streams of income. That's all I can tell you. Multiple
I
streams.
know that's right. I know that's right. That's another thing. We'll get into that, but let's get started. It is your girl, Michelle Franklin, Miss Michelle D.I., honey, for divine intervention. Mrs. Community Builder herself. I am here. We are here with another Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free podcast edition. It is Women's Month. I have Miss Frederica here from Refresh Your Life LLC. I am so excited. Honey, I met this beautiful spirit at a conference in San Antonio. She had a whole big old jug of juices. Different kind of juices, fresh juices, guys. Fresh. What are they called?
Cold press.
Cold press. That's the word. I'm like, what's the word I want to say? Yes, fresh cold press juices. I was like, okay, she ain't playing. And the other thing about it was they were all delicious. Honey, we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Miss Frederica, welcome. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it being here. I am so excited. It's been a blessing to meet you. It's just been an awesome season. And like you said, this is Women's Month, and I'm just happy to be on your podcast today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are blessed to have you. I always say, anytime I find some people doing positive things in the community, I'm like, oh, we got to get this on. We got to spread this word. We got to let people know about this. And so I want to, before we get to the juicing, I want to go back a little bit. People know me. I'm always like, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Talk to us a little bit about what was happening in your journey before you started juicing. Your story is amazing.
Yes. So, first of all, I am a veteran from the United States Army, and
Thank you for your
I
service.
you. And so, as with probably a lot of veterans that are out there, I experienced a lot of disabilities, one
Mhm.
PTSD, and anxiety. And the biggest one that I recently got diagnosed with was fibromyalgia. And so, I on this journey of trying to figure out how to take care of my body and to have a healthier lifestyle without
Yes.
medication. That was my goal, and I know it's not for everybody. Some people do need that meds, but for me, I was like, I do not want to do this. And so I decided to start researching what can I do to help this pain go away. And there are so many other things, that can help and add life to your body and health and wealth to your body. And so juicing was one of the things that I found. And I actually, on the journey, I joined a juicing group. um,
Mm.
because I didn't know anything about juicing. And so I joined a juicing group, which taught me some education. And the girl that was, and I have to give her credit, Miss Janine Crawford, she is just amazing. And this group that I joined, she was really educating us about how juicing, some people have negative stigmatisms when it comes to juicing and saying, oh, it's not all good for you, and I'm like, I don't understand in the first place. Why do people come up against things that are
Mm.
healthy for you,
Yes.
try to tell you it's bad for you, right? But they don't tell you that the medicine you're taking is bad for you. They just push it onto you, right? So,
Yes.
I'm always leery about that. So anyway, so I started doing the program. I mean, the joined the group, learned so much from it, and just saw a big difference. So I did a celery juice cleanse for 5 days. That blew my mind, first of all, like just celery. And some people
Wow.
really celery juice, but it was so refreshing. I'm telling y'all, it was just refreshing. It wasn't nothing added, just straight celery. And I lost belly fat. I lost weight. I started feeling good. My mental clarity
Mhm.
was better. I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, this is celery juice. So what happens if I add other stuff? So then um she had what she called a five or the 7 day reset, basically. So for 7 days, you drink juice, right? And people are like, oh my God, that's all you did was juice for 7 days? That's all I did. All I did was juice for 7 days. And yes, my body went through withdrawals because
Mm-hmm.
your body doesn't want to, your body wants what it wants, right? But if you
Yes.
starve it and you tell it, no, I want you to do this because I want to get rid of all the toxins in my body. I want to get rid of all the whatever's in there that doesn't need to be there. I want it to flush away. And I started this 7 day juicing. And like the third day, and she was checking on us. So she was very thorough in checking on us, making sure how are we doing. Every day we had meetings at like 6:30 or whatever. And the third day I had a headache. I found myself a little irritable and
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my God, okay, I don't know if I could do this. But she encourages, you can do it. Just push past this day. She said, I promise you it's going to be better the next day. The
And
next
let me say this real quick, because that is the classic sign. People need to know those are the classic signs of detox. That means that the detox is working.
mm-hmm.
Your body's like, what's going on? I don't want to let go of this stuff. And you continue, it's going to let go, but you have to continue and push past. And it's always around day 3. So that was good. Yeah, that was good. And so go ahead.
So after day 4, I kept going. I started feeling energized.
Yes.
Just started like, oh my God. It literally, when I say mental clarity, because fibromyalgia affects your nervous system and it affects, your mental status too, because you're in so much pain. Everything's cloudy because all you're thinking about is hurt, right? And but I started just having, it was almost like that, you know how you say, that moment. It just hit me and I was just like, man. So I kept going. After that, y'all, I mean, I usually could not get out the bed without hurting. Like I woke up feeling like somebody had beat me with a bat every single day. And
Wow.
I woke up now feeling good. I literally could hop out the bed. And I'm not saying even to this day that my life is perfect,
Yeah.
but better than what it was. And every day it's a journey that you have to be on.
Yeah. That is amazing. That is amazing. So, for people that don't know, I'm going to just tell them a little bit about fibromyalgia. It affects over 5 million people. Over 5 million people in the United States are affected by fibromyalgia. It is one of the most common causes of chronic pain in the country. And so, the most common side effect of fibromyalgia is joint pain. It's a disorder of the joints. And so if you think of all of the joints that you have in your body, your fingers, your hands, your toes, your knees, your elbows, your wrists, all of these joints in your bodies, your knees, your ankles, and it could attack at any place. One of the other things it can also cause is it causes chronic fatigue. You're always tired because you're in pain and you're not resting.
Mhm.
You have, just like Miss Frederica said, you have memory loss, right? You have mood swings. You have insufficient sleep because what? You're not resting. Again, you're not resting,
Right.
right? You can't get to REM sleep, which is the deeper sleep that helps you to just release and your body to restore and rejuvenate and you feel fresh in the mornings. If you're not getting to REM sleep, you don't feel that refreshment and you can't, your body won't allow you to get there. And so it is a very challenging disorder. And so one of the things is just the chronic pain. I want you to speak a little bit just about the pain because there are a lot of people out there suffering with pain, and some people have become addicted to opioids, like the drug addiction is real. And so that has caused this ripple effect of people that they don't even want to take pain medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People are afraid. I get those phone calls all the time. Y'all know me, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 22 years. I'm on the phones all the time. I have people, they are afraid. I remember my stepfather needed knee surgery and he was afraid to even, I mean, was valid reason for him to have pain medicine, but was afraid to take it because of the chronic pain. I mean, because of the addiction, the thought of being addicted to opioids. And so these
Yes.
are this option I love because it's just another something that you can do to help with the pain. But can you speak to the pain a little bit?
Definitely. Uh, Even before I started the juicing journey, I joined a fibromyalgia group.
Mhm.
So, because I was just researching, I was really trying to find answers to my pain and trying to figure out what in the world is this. So, and for me, even to like, not as bad as it today, but to the point just scratching myself. So, if I have an itch on my arm or an itch on my back or something, and I go to scratch it, immediately I get this sensation that hits that spot, and it's almost like I'm on fire because of the pain of the nerves. They're so inflamed from the fibromyalgia. Just doing something is just scratching my skin, itch, right? Uh,
Mhm.
it felt like somebody had just basically, I guess I've never been stunned by one, a stun gun, but it probably had that feeling, okay, in my body. Um, Pain wise, when I say getting out of the bed feeling like I've been beat with a bat, literally I felt like in spots or places like I was bruised in those areas
Oh
because
my gosh.
that that pain was just in my joints so bad. Um, my fingers swell. They were swelling. I and now I'm so much better. It was to the point then it was like I could barely bend my fingers. uh,
Yeah.
it was just even to the point in the fingers of my joints. I used to get these little spurts of pain right in between my fingers,
Mhm.
which just hurt for no reason. Like literally, I'd be like, "Oh my god, my hand is hurting," and and I'm like, "What did I do?" Nothing. It was nothing that I did. It was just because the inflammation in your body, and it just causes those triggers to start. And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't discriminate.
Mm-mm.
It just happens. My knee, my right knee would swell, and I would have just this ache, and it's in my knee sometimes. My husband, he would be like, "Babe, why are you so cold?" I really feel like it was affecting my circulation too. My
Surely.
would just be ice cold, and it wouldn't matter what time of the day it was. He'd be like, "Babe, I don't understand, like what is going on?" And the rest
Yeah.
of my body was fine, but my
Yeah.
feet stay ice cold.
Yeah.
um so that pain, it just, and even I'm gonna tell you, at one point I thought I was having a heart attack because I had pain in my chest, right?
Mhm.
And I said, "Babe, something's not right. I keep getting these electrical," it was like electrical sparks in my chest, right? And I was like, "Babe, I don't know what's going on." So he took me to the hospital. We went to the ER,
Mhm.
and the doctor ran all kind of tests, EKG, all the markers for your heart. Um, and I'm not a nurse, but I've been in the medical field for 25 years, so I knew what
Mhm.
to look for. You know,
Mhm.
medical assistant, healthcare technician. I've worked with patients a long time, and
Sure.
I'm like, okay. He did all the blood timer, all that stuff. So he came back and he was like, "Your heart is perfect. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with your heart. There's nothing wrong with your body." He was like, "It's your fibromyalgia." He says your
Wow.
fibromyalgia is giving you electric, there, it's in your chest, and it's causing you to feel like you're having some type of heart issue, but it's not. He was like, "It's your fibromyalgia," and he said that's what it does. And he was like, "It's just something that you got to learn how to live with." And
Wow.
like, God. So I had literally, and prayer. I was like, "Lord, you got to show me what to do, because I don't want to keep living like this. And I don't want to, take, like you said, pain meds, because that's their answer for it. Take
Yeah.
this drug, take that drug, and you'll feel better." But really, it's just numbing you. It's
Yeah.
you and making you basically try to forget what you're feeling, but the pain is still there. It's just numbing your body to forget. So that's what I have been experiencing. And every now and then, when I eat the wrong things, when I don't do the right things for me,
Yeah.
that back, and I know why.
Yeah. Yeah. This, so one of the, I want to talk about the causes. the biggest thing to know is that they don't know what causes it. They don't know what causes fibromyalgia. It is a lot of research out there, and research that is being, done. Research has shown that they feel like it could be genetic, it could be infections, it could be just hormonal changes, it could be physical or emotional trauma.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
and then some people, it's just like you said, it's just the inflammation. It's just this collection of and it's just a collection of inflammation in your body. How you diagnose, you have to go see your doctor. This is not anything that you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I have fibromyalgia. No. Oh my God, Miss Frederick, I got these same symptoms. It's
I,
gotta be that.
yep. And he diagnosed me. Yep.
You got to go see your doctor. You got to go see your doctor, but it is very simple. It's a simple blood test. They'll do some blood work and they'll be able to see, those inflammation markers, and, different things will be up high, and they'll very much be, specifically be able to see. And so, whew, oh, that is so much.
It is. It's overwhelming. It really.
I'm sure it is. But we're on the flip side of this thing. So let's talk about so you talked about the celery juice. You started juicing. And when you talk about eating healthier and eating, what other eating habits what other things have you done as far as your diet changes?
So I decided, and I follow somebody everybody pretty knows who Miss Tabitha Brown is. And
Yes.
I follow her too, and I've been following her and watching her go through her vegan journey, right? And so in January of 2021, I decided to go cold turkey vegan, literally,
Mhm.
because I was just tired, right? I was tired of the
Yeah.
pain. Like, I don't know what else to do. If this worked for her, let me just try it for 30 days and see what,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So my husband was like, "Are you sure? You, you,
You were sounding like Chance, huh?
he was like, you sure this what you gonna do? Gonna do it." He was like, "You're gonna go all the way." I said, "I'm going all the way, babe, because I'm tired of hurting. I'm just."
Yeah.
And he saw me and he was like, "Okay." He was like, "Well, I will keep you accountable. And if I see you, and I was like, "You don't have to worry." I said, "I'm gonna be like, nope." And even though he wasn't, I still had to cook food for him. I had to do,
Yeah.
but I told myself I'm gonna make mine separately, or I'm gonna make mine first, eat
Yeah.
it, then cook his, and that way I won't be hungry, right? Or even thinking about
That's
his.
a good idea.
And so I did. 30 days went by. I was like, "Oh my God, I feel amazing." So I was like, "I'm gonna keep going."
Yeah.
Did a whole year. I did a whole year of vegan eating, plant-based eating. And after that year, then I was like, I need some barbecue, Jesus. I need some barbecue. So, so we're living in Texas. I gotta have some barbecue. So I did. So that's like literally, I gradually, I needed to taste a little bit. But even when you taste, and it's so crazy because when you're used to eating clean
Yeah.
all of that time, and then you go back to eating that's considered not clean. And when we
Yeah.
say not clean, meaning because of all of the parasites,
Hormones, pesticides, yeah, all the extra they
all
put
of
in
it.
the foods now.
Correct.
What
And
they feeding the animals that we're eating is part of the problem.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so I went back that first, I got a headache.
Wow.
My stomach was hurting. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I felt sick. Like I
Yeah.
felt sick. And my husband was like, "Are
Yeah.
you okay?" I was like, "Oh my God, babe, I shouldn't have ate that. I shouldn't have ate it,
Yeah.
And so, but even then, it's like I can see how people ignore the body. You ignore the body because you're like, but it tastes so good. It tastes
That's
so
so
I
good.
want to keep eating it. But and then you keep ignoring the body's symptoms of telling you this ain't good for you, but you keep
Mhm.
doing it, or you wash it down with water or something else, and then you're like, okay, I'll be good tomorrow. Or you take something like, where we take pills for Alka-Seltzer, all these.
Right. Tums and all of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? The crazy part for me, I'm allergic to every last acid reflux medication,
Oh, wow.
even the little chewable Tums. I'm allergic to every last bit of it. So
Wow.
it was like God saying, you're gonna either eat right or you
Listen, what is so funny and what I love about God, honey, he be showing up like, look, did you ask me for a solution? And I done gave you one, and now you what? Oh, I can show you better than I can teach you.
was like, really, God? Oh,
No, he's not vengeful, but nevertheless, he will give you some lessons. He will give us some lessons. Like, oh, okay, that's what you want to do. No problem. You go right on ahead and eat that barbecue because you in Texas. I know, but you know what? I know exactly what you're talking about because I started fasting. People know my story. I started fasting just because I was just disgusted with I was suffering from like depression, anxiety, and panic attacks and that whole thing. And I almost died. And so in my head, I was just kind of disgusted with myself. Like I knew I had these gifts inside of me and things that I needed to do. And so I was like, I'm in the bathroom praying, like, because I'm thinking I'm gonna die. So I'm like, Lord, please just get me out of this thing. I'm in there bargaining. Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise I'll be better and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
yes.
Whatever you leave me, Lord, that's what I'm gonna do. And
It's
so
real.
it is so real. And so I started fasting, and and that fasting journey, what is so crazy because I'm the one in the class for the fasting, the facilitator at the time, Christopher Aaron, beautiful spirit. He he was teaching us about, he was vegan at the time. So he was teaching us about veganism and everything. And here I am all ignorant in the class. Everybody else in there, like they taking notes and soaking up. I was taking notes, but I wasn't trying to I was not trying to listen. Hey, listen, sir. I didn't join this fast to become a vegan. So can you just teach me how to eat better or, make some better choices? Cause I'm not giving up my Popeye's chicken. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not giving up chicken. And chicken is the worst thing out there. It's packed with all of the hormones they feed, they blowing up. I mean, think of how big these chicken and turkey wings and how they're mass producing, how much chicken the United States requires on a daily basis and what they have to do to keep up with that. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I was real ignorant. That first fast, I was like, listen, I'm not giving up my chicken. By the time we finished the fast, and just like you, I realized how much better I felt. The brain fog was gone. I just felt so much better. And then it's kind of this lifestyle because it's almost like, you want more of it because you feel so good. You don't feel so bad in such a long time or for such a long time that it's like, man, you don't even know what you're missing, And so I know that feeling of I'm just going to, and I have tried to do, be vegan. I did that because I did a 42-day fast for my birthday year before last. And I came out of that like, okay, I'm gonna, and I stayed for about 7 to 8 months or so. And I can remember that feeling that you're talking about the first time. I was like, oh, well, let me just try. Sick as a dog to me. Sick. It was a terrible feeling. I was like, oh God, why did I do it? Why did I do it? Yep. And so it is. And we're not saying, guys, that you can't have your meats and you can't, because somebody's watching this like, oh Lord, here we go. But right. But it is, even if you were like me and not like ready to give up meat and ready to give up, things, it is just adding more veggies on your plate. You know what I mean? That eating cleaner is adding more green leafy vegetables, on your plate, adding more fruits and getting those natural things. And so tell us the difference between juicing and the juices, and why is it better to drink cold pressed juice than I can't just go get me some juice from the store, Miss Fat Drink? I got to get me some cold pressed juice. What's the difference?
So with cold press juicing, it is a process of you're taking your fresh fruits and vegetables and you're running it through a juicing machine. And the juicing machine is actually taking it from its raw state. It's not
Yes.
cooked vegetables, they're raw vegetables, and you're putting it through and you're getting the very fresh juice directly from the plant. Now, the difference between, and the fruits, the difference between a cold press juicing and juicing that you can buy at the store is it is filled with preservatives. So, preservatives, if you buy juices off the shelf, they
Mhm.
have a preservative in it to keep it from going bad. And that
Say that again.
they put a preservative in that. The purpose of fruits and vegetables is it's supposed to spoil.
It's supposed to spoil. Fresh fruit is fresh fruit spoils. That's why you need to eat
That's why
it.
I buy fresh and I use mostly organic. So if you buy those items, it doesn't sit in my house no more than 3 or 4 days, and then it's
Baby,
built. It's starting to go back, grows mold. It starts doing this because that's what it's supposed to
that's
do.
what it's supposed to do.
And if you tell me I can go to the store and I can buy a bottle of juice, and then you tell me it can sit in my refrigerator for a month, for 6 months, I just recently bought a bottle. I'm not going to say a brand because I wanted to see, right? It was a
Mhm.
watermelon juice and I bought it. It said it could last for a year.
Oh my gosh.
What? What do you mean a year?
What watermelon you know lasts for a year? Okay.
And that was out of the refrigerator. So as long as
Wow.
it lasts for a year in your cabinet, once you open it in the refrigerator, then you have to drink it within 7 days. I just still, my mind is boggled to like, what is the, I don't understand that. So that's telling me there's something in
There's
it.
something, yeah.
Yes. So if it's something in it to preserve that from going bad, what is it that you're putting in my body
Right.
that's affecting me in a way that I ain't gonna know it's gonna affect me probably till later, but still. So as I did researching for juicing, there's
Mm-hmm.
a process called HPP processing, and it's high pressure processing. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And this high pressure processing, what it does, it's putting the juice, whatever they put in a bottle or whatever, they seep it into this very, very supposed to be cold. It says not heat, but it's supposed to keep and take keep the vegetables and the fruit from going bad. The problem is you're still taking away some of the nutrients from the fruits and vegetables when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the juices in the store, if you ever heard of this word, pasteurized,
Yes.
okay? When people say it's been pasteurized, that means it's been put into some heat
Mm-hmm.
to be dropped down to heat, almost like you're cooking it, and then they bring it back to cold very fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what you just did, you killed every piece of nutrient that's in that bottle or in that juice or in that fruit. It is no longer good for you.
No.
It's no longer natural.
No.
It's all, guess what it is? It's sugar.
Yeah.
Because then they add stuff in it to make it sweet because they killed everything else in it. And
Yeah.
now add sugar and then they tell you, oh, it's natural. They put that on the bottle.
Right.
They put they can't now on the HPP. I found out they can put cold press, but after researching, that's because of the whatever FDA says they can, but it's really not cold press anymore.
Yes.
So we just have to read, and that's what I try to educate people: is read your labels,
Mm-hmm.
do your research, and if you have more than 5 or 6 ingredients or 10, you got this whole list of stuff in here, you can't understand what it's saying, you don't know what that is,
Yes.
you probably shouldn't eat it. You probably shouldn't drink it. I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I love the breakdown because we tend to, um, we're thinking, the government has a stamp on this thing, so it's got to be good. It's got to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's scary because you have so many other countries who, things are not allowed and things are allowed here in the United States. And so I'm not going to get into a whole political thing. You can do your own research, YouTube University, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Google University, whatever you want to do. But this is to just bring awareness, because there are so many people that are suffering with chronic pain, that are suffering from migraines, that are suffering from, diabetes, from heart disease, from all these different things that can be turned around. People are, popping pills for everything. And hey, I've been a nurse for 22 years. Sometimes you need some medicine. Sometimes you do, right? There's some things that you do need medication on, but there are some things that some simple diet changes, and how quick was it within a week?
Mm,
That
mm.
first challenge was 5 days or 7 days?
5 days.
5 days.
5.
And then, what a dramatic lifetime, difference of a lifetime that you'll have. Instead of just being, you're actually living.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of just being, you're actually living. And there is a difference. We're just going and doing and being, because we're so used to going and being and doing and running to the store and checking out our own things. When I started fasting, I could remember the facilitator, they was talking about this cold pressed juice. I had never heard of I was a cold pressed juice. What? I ain't never heard of that. What is that again? I'm all like with a stank attitude, with stank face.
Ooh.
All right, I'm gonna try this while I'm holding off on my chicken for this month, but best believe, right?
Ooh.
I'm gonna try this, but I didn't even know that there was a store right down the street from me, a Nature's Grocer,
Good for
right down the street from me.
yes.
I had drove past that thing 1,000 times. It was literally less than a mile from my home, and I didn't even know it was there. So what I'm saying is, until you open your eyes
Mm.
to what is available to you, you could be driving right past it and you never know. You could be sitting right next to, you just never know. And so, you know, my job is to bring information. I'm a community builder, honey. I'm bringing you information, but you have to be open enough to receive it. And I feel like if you are seeing this message,
Mm.
I don't believe in coincidences. That's what the DI stands for, honey. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. Then, if you don't need this information, somebody that you love needs this information.
Yes.
But 9 times out of 10, it's both of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's both of you. Now, could you be, do you have to go full turkey and I mean just stop everything and throw everything away in your house? No, that's not what we're saying at all. But what we're saying is love yourself enough. If you having some aches and some pains, last year, the whole year of 2022,
Mm.
my body swelled up. I had inflammation in my legs, my knees, all the way down, both sides, both legs were swollen, my ankles. My ankles have not returned back to the size that they're supposed to be yet. And I'm claiming yet.
Yes.
But I'm able to walk a little bit better on them. I'm able to dance this year. I was not able to dance. I can picture twice that I danced last year, specifically 2 times.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ankles were hurting, body was swollen, coming up my legs and up into my belly. There was so much inflammation in my body. And it was because of what part of it was that, when they said the fibromyalgia is caused by the emotions,
Mm.
I call it trapped emotions in your body.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of it was trapped emotions, it's emotional trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And we are suffering in silence. A lot of people are suffering and you don't even know. And so I'm just saying, if you are going through any of it,
Yeah.
you've been doing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. You've been doing everything else.
Come on.
Nothing is working.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Mm-hmm.
not?
Yeah.
Be open. Try it. What do you have to lose?
Right.
You know what I mean? Tabitha Brown. I'm gonna put her story in here because it is amazing. It'll come through at the end because Her daughter came home. She watched the program in school. Her mom was suffering, Tab was suffering. She was bedridden
Mhm.
at one point. She thought she was going to die in her 30s
Wow.
because she was suffering from so much pain. And her daughter came home. They had been talking about our good FDA and all these foods and stuff, all these products and preservatives that they put into our foods and how it affects your body. And they were doing a challenge. And so they did the challenge as a family.
Yeah.
And just like you, within 3 to 5 days, her whole life turned around and shifted. And now look at this woman. She just won. I mean, she's winning Emmys, she's winning awards. She is walking in purpose
Yes. Yes.
from that story and that journey,
Mm.
but it started with just, I call it, the name of my program is called Reflections, choosing me guilt free, just choosing you.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just taking a minute to choose you. We all can make some better choices. And so,
And I just add to that, it just came across in my spirit for anybody who's listening,
mhm,
you are not alone.
at all.
You are not alone. And I'm going to tell you that is part of what I felt in myself because I felt like, oh my God, nobody's going to understand.
Yeah,
They they see me and they don't think I'm in pain. They look at me and they think, ain't nothing wrong with you. You
yeah,
ain't. That's the stigmas that you live with when you have
definitely.
at times because I don't walk around like on a cane. I'm not walking bent over, but you're, as they say, faking it till you make it.
Yeah,
That's what you do when you're in pain because you don't want everybody to see you hurting. But
surely.
so I want anyone who's listening to know that you're not alone. There is help for you. There is like this podcast, you can reach out to myself, you can reach
Yeah,
out Michelle. I mean,
yeah,
we are here for you to help you. It's not just about me. I didn't do this. And God had to show me that. He was like, I didn't do this just for you.
yeah.
I did this for you so that you can tell somebody else about it,
Right.
so that you can help other people who's struggling like you are. And it just so happens that God made it into a business. But I said, God, the whole point of it is ministry. It's for
Yeah,
me to anybody else because that's what it's about. Because if I can help you start your own journey, start making your own juice, tell you where to go, how to start, and guess what? Do you know how many people have been influenced just by seeing me? They're
yeah.
not always buying my juice, but it's the point that their life, they decided to change, and it is a choice. It's a
It's a
choice
choice.
you have to make to decide that I'm no longer going to live the way I've been living. And but I just want you to know you're not alone. I'm with Miss Michelle. I'm hoping that one day I want to start my own podcast with as too. I mean, that's my ultimate.
Yes.
I just love being able to speak and talk to other people about this and just give education, like you say.
Yeah. Yeah. Education to me is the most powerful tool. Until you realize, I remember sitting, you know, in um, a conference room full of women that had started businesses.
Mhm.
And I sat there because I was in a meeting a year before with the idea of
Mm.
women, who wants to start this? Can you do this? Whatever can you do? And there was money involved. And so I didn't have the money at the time to start, right? So she was like, we're gonna take this first cohort type deal and we'll go ahead and start with this group of people that can go ahead and start now. And then a year later, I'm
Mm.
sitting in the room with these women, the ones that was like, yes, I can do it. And now they have products, they had services, they
Mm.
were successful. I mean, it was all tangible. And for me, I was in a place, I was in so much darkness of the depression and the anxiety at that time that I was at a place of complacency
Yeah.
because you think you're alone. Just like you said, you think there's no way out. I'm sure at some point you were like, oh my God, I'm going to die with this. There's no way. How am I going to get out of this? You in
Yep.
darkness and you can't see light.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So understand, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what your situation is, right? We all have situations where we go through where we're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm never going to get out of this. Oh, I'm always going to be, that's that negative
Mm.
talk that we do to ourselves. And it's so loud
Oh. Mm.
that you can't hear or see anything else. And so this is why you have to surround yourself with positive people. You got to keep positive things in your ear. You have to stay. Even when I was suffering with the depression, I would keep myself around people that were positive. I watched Tabitha Brown. I watched people that made me laugh. You know what I mean? I watched people last year that was dancing. I watched dance videos all last year, even though I couldn't dance. I was like, oh, I'm going to be dancing. And when I start dancing, I'm doing this video
Yeah.
and I'm doing this video and I'm doing this. You know what I mean? You speak those things that are not as though they are,
Oh.
right? You
Yeah.
have to have faith and believe and trust. So I'm sitting in this room with these women and I started bawling.
Mm.
The lady, the facilitator at the time, she was like, does anybody else have a question? And I raised my hand
Mm.
to ask a question and I'm bawling.
Wow.
I'm just looking at, because all I can think of was the endless possibilities. I thought of all the gifts that were inside of me that I wasn't using,
Yeah.
but I was so inspired.
Mm. Mm.
And so it may be that you don't even know how you're going to get out of a situation or what you're going to be able to do or how you're even going to be able to do it. But just write that thing down. Habakkuk 2:2, honey, write the vision and make it plain. You just write that thing down,
Mm-hmm.
get your vision together, put your vision board up, see it.
Come on.
Tell yourself, get in that mirror and talk to yourself. You know what? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
Yes. Yes.
Keep moving, keep stepping, keep walking,
Yeah.
through the darkness and look at this. Look, refresh your life.
Telling you, only God. Only God.
Won't he do it? Won't he will? That's me and Keith thing. Won't he do it? Won't he will? Won't he will? Yes, he will. Yes, he will every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Your story is amazing.
Mm.
It is amazing. And it shows, people. I know when I was little, I used to sit up and I used to think, oh, God is for the older people.
Mm.
God is for my grandmother. They talk to God. They the only ones that can talk to God. When you're younger, that's what you think. Or
Yeah.
you think,
That's
for
all you
whatever reason. Yeah, whatever reason you dealing with some unworthiness in the pit of your belly. So you think that God isn't listening to you, or like only the holier than thou people that's in the church with their church hats on can get a message through. Baby, please.
Mm. Mm-mm.
He is available and he is waiting for each and every one of us.
Yes. Yes.
Ready to turn some lives around. He just a gentleman, honey. He just waiting for you to ask.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? He's a gentleman. He
Nothing.
just waiting for you to ask. He just waiting for you to ask. That's it. I feel like I done had a little church.
Yeah, I know that.
It feel good.
Woo. Girl, I'm trying to tell you.
Your story has inspired me. So I want you to tell them, guys, is one of the number one things that you can drink for inflammation if you're suffering from inflammation in your body. So when I met Miss Frederica, I'm looking over there. I was like, do you have some beet juice? I'm looking like, because beet juice is very distinct. It
Yeah.
has a very distinct taste. And so, it might be hard. Some people love beets,
Yeah.
but I was not a fan. Okay. But because I'm being very intentional about this inflammation in my body and getting it out, I'm looking for different ways. And beet juice is one of the number one things that you can do and you can eat and you can drink
Yeah.
for inflammation in your body. And so your beet juice, because I've been trying, I best believe every time I find some cold press and it got some beets in it, I'm tasting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All have a little kick. They had got a little kick to it. Yours was so smooth.
Mm.
And it tastes so good. It was so refreshing What did I do? I was like, I need some more of this. I bought a big jar.
She sure did. Oh,
I came and met her after the conference. I was like, I need some more of this right here. Oh my God, if you lived anywhere near Tyler, Texas, honey, I would just be harassing you every other day.
and I work on shipping, so it is coming.
I
It,
am waiting. Listen, I'm
uh,
waiting for you to work that shipping out. Listen, work that shipping out, get those good ice packs or whatever you need to do.
yes. So,
Get that
like I said, it just the beet juice is one of the top favorites of my customers. People who buy it. It's called Give.
fresh.
It does have beets in it, it has strawberries, it has cucumbers, it has pineapple and ginger in this juice. Then my other top one, which I've been making lately, is 24 karat gold. Now, this one, I'm able to add turmeric to it. So, if you know anything about inflammation, turmeric is like one of the
Yeah.
top take for
Yes.
inflammation.
Yep.
And because turmeric is orange, it looks like a root when you first see it. And when you cut it open, it looks like a sweet potato or it's very bright. And it really works great in carrots with carrots because carrots are bright orange. So the 24 karat gold, I actually add apples, carrots, and it's also pineapple. And pineapple, if you don't know, is very good for inflammation as well. And then there's ginger and there's turmeric in there. So those are the ingredients in that juice. And then I have Tropic Zing, which is yellow bell pepper,
Mm.
pineapples, and ginger. And then I also have a melanicious. The melanicious is, people like,
I
oh,
love these names.
watermelon, like yes, it's watermelon, but some people are expecting it to be very super sweet, and it's not because even though it has watermelon in it, it also has celery in there. There's also ginger and mango in
Mm.
that juice, and so the mango gives it a little bit of sweetness, but it's not overly sweet because there's a lesson that I've also learned over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And the quote that people do not want to live by, or it's hard for people to live by, is bitter is better.
Okay. That's
Bitter,
very true.
bitter is better. If it's bitter, that's probably it's better for you. If it's sweet, 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 it's probably not good for you because
Oh, sugar.
sugar is not good for us. It's not.
Right.
And we want everything to be sweet. We want things to really taste good and get at, and it's just not. That's just not the case. And so I've learned that because over the years I've also been a apple cider vinegar user,
Mm.
because I started using
Me
that to
too.
get rid of my inflammation, thinking,
Mm.
okay, helps this is going to help, but that wasn't it. It wasn't doing it by itself.
Yeah.
So it was really the foods I was eating too. So I had to change everything. It was just
Yeah.
a whole change I had to do. So the other juice that I have is kale. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah. That was so good.
kale. Yeah, is kale. It's red apples and green apples or Granny Smith apples. It also has ginger in there and pineapple. So those are the pineapple is like the main staple in all of them, which is really good. If you look up pineapple, it's very good for inflammation. You can even use the skin of a pineapple
Mm.
and boil it in water and
Yes.
then strain that out, and you can make you a tea from that, and it's really good with for inflammation as well. There's just
Yeah.
so much out there if you just research and do your read and
That's your
study.
due diligence.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we don't have to be subject to having to take things for pain. It's just and just know when you're using natural things, it's going to take a little longer for the process to happen. It's not a quick fix like pain kills. That's pain pills. That's why people like take them because it happens so fast and
Yeah.
instantaneous. But that's why you got to keep taking it because after 3 or 4, 5, 6 hours, that pain's coming right back and you got to
Yeah.
take a pill, right? But
Yeah.
if you learn to change your lifestyle and change your diet, drinking cold pressed juices, eating more green leafy vegetables,
Yeah.
plant based, and I'm not even going to say vegan because even for me, I'm not vegan, but
Mhm.
I try to incorporate a plant based meal within my diet every day, if not
Mhm.
and that means I'm getting more fruits and vegetables than I am getting meats.
Yes.
I'm eating meat, it's not like steaks, it's nothing really heavy red meats. I try to stay away from those things. So
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to eat um better meats, and if you're going to buy meats, let it be organic meats, let it be meats that are grass fed, you know,
Yes.
sure it's things that are not filled with so many antibiotics and all kind of hormones and all of that stuff, and they sell that stuff.
Definitely.
Store Sprouts is a good store. Use
Ross is a great store.
Whole Foods.
This
You
is
got
amazing.
Nature's, like you said, natural grocers.
Mhm.
Those places are there for reasons, y'all. They're not
Yes.
there for show. They're trying to give you options and show you there's a better way to eat. And I want to say, because I, in our community of Black culture,
Yeah.
are so subject to so many health conditions, and it's all, it's because how we were raised, and it's
Mhm.
generational. But we got to
Definitely.
break those generational curses and decide to say, you know what, my next generation is not going to be dealing with this anymore. We're not.
True.
I'm going to show and be better in my life. I'm going to show my children and my children's children to live a different way.
Yeah. Well, and the other piece of that, because I'm hearing somebody is like, you know what, I tried that whole thing, but it was a little expensive. I can't afford it, that whole thing. And I saw this meme summed it up really nicely. And it literally said, if you can't afford to pick yourself, if you can't afford to choose you,
Mm,
um, do you really think that you can afford the hospital bill that's coming later?
wow. Yep.
And it is, statistically, there are, between the hospital bills, between the medications that you paying for every month, between,
Yeah.
the urgent care visits, between possibly, hitting a 911 and that ambulance ride,
Right.
you know what I mean? All of that stuff adds up. And so it is specifically how you are looking at that thing. And so again, my girls in Black Coffee, Honey and Grits,
Oh,
that's my favorite show on Clubhouse, my favorite room in Clubhouse, Black Coffee, Honey and Grits, honey. They say they're not telling you what to do, they just telling you what we do. That's what we
right.
doing here. We're not telling you what to do.
Oh,
But again, as a community builder, honey, this is my job. I'm bringing you information that you may not otherwise know. Because for me, I'm always looking at information like, you know what? My people need to know this. My
that's right.
people need to know, you know, because a lot of information is not given to us. And so, and we're not privy. And so this is for everybody, but specifically for my people.
Yeah.
Because we just don't know. We just don't know about these things. And so, and we're not paying attention.
Right.
We're not paying attention.
No better you do.
When you know better, you do better. Miss Frederica, listen, we gotta tell them this good people how to follow you. How can they get in contact with you if they in the San Antonio area? Because she's in San Antonio. Oh,
So you can
5 hours away.
have a website. It's called www.refreshyourlife, and it's
Yes.
life. Refreshyourlife.com. I'm also on Instagram at refreshyourlife.com. And then I'm also on Facebook at Refresh Your Life. So you can
All
also
right.
follow me on Facebook under me, Frederica Thomas. That is my name. But I am everywhere, and I'm hoping that I will be able to be shipping to every location within the United
Yes.
States. That is my next goal, and I'm working on that. I'm getting ready to, I got some great things coming up in the works. I don't want to let the cat out the bag yet.
Okay.
I'm excited. Just look for some announcements coming really soon, and maybe a video, maybe.
Okay.
I'm just excited what God is doing. It's like He says He's doing it, and it's marvelous in my eyes. And
That's amazing.
I didn't see all this, but He saw it. And all He was waiting for me is to walk in my purpose and to walk into what He had called me to do. So
He said, girl, come on and get this juice. We got stuff to do.
I was like, okay, okay, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you so much. You are a wealth of information, honey. I'm going to pray that God gonna bring forth that podcast out of you, because we need good information out there. We need good quality information. We need good quality, genuine people bringing the information. And so that is one thing that I pray God always connects me to good, genuine people. And so I thank you. I thank you for your heart. I thank you for your work. I thank you for your courage and for your vulnerability to share your story, you know, and just your journey and everything. And so I'm so grateful for you and your platform and what you're doing in this world to just make it a little bit better. We need you. So thank you.
That is so awesome. I appreciate you and thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. And it was just a great blessing, even for myself. And it's just been a blessing to meet you and get to know you. And I'm looking forward to more connections and more collaborations. And who knows,
Yes.
maybe at an expo in the near future.
I know that's right. Look, I know that right. Bring that beet juice with you. Miss Patricia, thank you for being my special guest today. Guys, you know how we do it. This is what we doing. We bringing information for the community. It's your girl, Michelle Franklin. Miss Michelle D.I. My heart is well today. It is so happy. I feel like I need to drive to San Antonio 5 hours, get that beach juice.
Come on, girl. Come on. Whatever you're ready for.
But nevertheless, honey, y'all enjoy your day. Take the information. If you don't need it for yourself, send it to somebody that you love. Send it to somebody that you love that may be suffering, that you know may be struggling with chronic pain. You never know. You might change their life. And so thank you for joining us. You know how I do it, honey. Your girl will be back. It's Women's Month, so I'll be back with another beautiful spirit doing positive things in this world. That's what we do. We bring in light, love, energy, lifting up your frequency, honey. I aspire to inspire until I expire. That's what I'm doing. What you doing?
Love it.
All right. Till next time. Bye-bye.